So, very good day everybody. Welcome to the channel. I'm your personal focusing pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko and will be your captain for today's flight. And we're currently parked at the Brussels International Airport in Belgium, Europe, for a short little 1-hour flight to Germany, to the city of Munich. We're using the PMDG 737-700, and we're using the Lufthansa livery. And you can see parked here at the gate number 14, I believe. It is a really rainy day. Everything looks drooly and wet and what have you. Okay, so let's hop on into the flight deck now. So we got the Brussels airport signage. I believe it comes with the GSX, probably. Anyway, so let's start on the aircraft now. So battery on, IRS to nav. There's some lights going. And let's request the GPU, the ground power unit. Okay, ground power available. Let's turn on the logo lights, anti-collision, can turn those on as well. Okay, so we're basically turning on some background lightings. So just we got a bit of a better view of the instruments and everything, and the cockpit around us. And let's give ourselves a squawk code, something random. We're not flying on the Vetsimer or anything, we're just doing this off the line, so we're just going to go ahead and give ourselves the squawk code of 4652. So there we have that. Okay, let's check here in the overhead panel. So the fuel for today's flight, let me get the OFP. The planned fuel is around 4,000 block fuel, so we could say we're just going to bring 5,000, and there's a final reserve of 0.88. So first of all, I'll actually just go to the fuel menu and set it here, 5,000. Now, let's go ahead and board the passengers and the crew. Request boarding.
Boarding requested.
And we are also going to request the catering service, so we can have some sandwiches in the back. So yesterday on the stream, the flight simulator crashed. Let's hope today is going to be better. I do really like the GSX menus. It's really cool. I'm just gonna leave this for a little bit on external view. Just going to quickly run to the galley and get a little drink, and I'll be back within 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Nobody go nowhere. Okay, so that's that. We'll quickly check outside, so the baggage handlers are just standing there. Poor guys. Okay, so we're just going to continue setting up the aircraft now. So reference airport, we're at Echo Bravo Bravo Romeo. We're at gate 14. So let's have a look at the charts. Sometimes it does not seem to recognize the gate number. And I have not loaded in the charts for this flight yet, actually. I see now. So import from SimBrief. There we go. So we're here at the south apron, I believe. So parking stands, let's have a look. Oh, actually the baggage is alive. You can see now the baggage handlers are actually working to get the baggage loaded into the aircraft. So while that's ongoing, we will see which position we're 1, 2, 3, 4. Unless these in between as well. Let's have another look at the chart. I would guess around 151 or 153 left or 153 right. Let's go for 153 left. Let's have a look outside one more time. One, two, three, four, 5. So let's go for the 5th line then. See what that's going to. There will be 149 on the left. Let's just try and have a look here as well in GSX. It says 40. So 149 on the left. At least recognized, not sure if it's the correct one, but it's gonna be close enough. So position initialization, we got this. So now for the routing, I'm going to clear out the scratch pad and we're going to request the routing through the FMC here. Oh, just missed it there. Alright, so select it. This flight plan is now being downloaded. It's nice to see, I like it. Load. Once it is done, you can click activate and then execute. Activate, execute. So we got the basic flight plan in. Let's immediately go to the departure and arrival page. So the departure runway for today's flight is in our OFP. And we're looking at runway 25 left, SOPOK 2 kilo departure. 25 left, SOPOK 2 kilo departure. 25 left, and the SOPOK 2 kilo. Execute. Index, and then we go for the arrival. Let's just put that in as well. We're just flying off the line now. 26 left for the ROKIL 1 Bravo arrival. 26 left, ROKIL 1 Bravo. ILS 26 left, ROKIL 1 Bravo. There we go. And we go execute. Now we turn our attention to the legs page, just to see if there's any possible flight discontinuity. Sometimes they might appear. Such as here. This is going. Okay, so definitely need to fix this. Hopefully this gap is now not too big for the VNAV. We'll see this in a bit, I'm sure. Next page. Okay, so that's it. So there's no more flight plan discontinuity. So we got the where to go programmed in, but not yet the how to do it. So that's what we'll be doing now. The zero fuel weight 53.6. I don't know if this is always the same. I'll check that later. So we're taking along with us 5,000 kilograms of fuel, and we said we had a final reserves are 0.88. Not sure if you can. No, you cannot put it in like that. So just let's put it 0.9 for the reserves. Cost index, I do not believe I checked it. It's 2.9. And the cruising altitude 350, flight level 350. So we're going to enter that in there as well. Can execute. Now for the cruise wind, you check the OFP as well. And that is 288 by 24. I missed. Notice destination path after no descent path, I believe it is. Okay, we're going to have to look at that in a bit. So 288.
Catering vehicles are on their way.
By 24. Catering vehicles are on their way. Unable to 80 knots at ROKIL. So we're going to have a look at this. It's because I deleted that flight plan discontinuity. The transition altitude for Brussels, I believe it's 6,000. This is an interesting feature of Navigraph charts ever since the latest update of the Navigraph charts. It seems to have trouble loading. My apologies, I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a cold. So 4,000. So yeah, I think we can safely jump to flight level 170. Now for the transition altitude, it's 4,500 here in Belgium. So 4,500, we enter it in the scratch pad and the soft key like that. So I got this all. So at one limit, we're going to do a full toga takeoff for now. Flaps 5. We need to trim at 5.51. I wonder what the weather is going to be in Munich. But I'm not expecting it to be much better than it is here today. Sounds like the catering trucks have arrived. Just turn this a little bit lower. It's quite bright. So there's the catering trucks. We could scoot over for a second to the first officer side. Just have a look at that. So that's fresh sandwiches and orange juice for everybody. Okay, so where were we? The takeoff speeds. So the runway remaining 25 left. Runway 25 left. That is heading 249, elevation 150. 105. So we got the takeoff speed here. 134. We'll enter it here. So looks like we're getting ready to go. So let's just start up the APU and the yaw damper. So the exhaust gas temperature for the APU will come alive momentarily. It will peak to around 9,000 and then it will drop down to around 3,000 where it will settle down. At that moment we will switch the APU generators on so that the aircraft is taking its power from the APU and no longer from the external power unit which it's using at the moment. So let's look outside. The catering vehicles are done. Which basically means that the aircraft is about done as well. We just need to double check something. So we got this here. Okay, that's the APU. So let's turn on the APU generator and turn on the APU bleed. So the runway elevation was something like 190, I believe. So let's put this on 200. What is our cruising altitude? Was 350. Although this will fail anyway because this keeps on failing for some reason, which is very likely me. So let's turn on the seatbelt signs, arm the emergency exit lights, hydraulic pumps. We do not need the anti-icing just yet, but probably fairly shortly after takeoff with all these clouds. And I think we should be good to go. So I can report ready for taxi, I believe. Maybe like quickly put in the initial altitude, flight level 170. And turn on the flight director and auto thrust. And the runway heading was 249er. It also put it in the course block. And why not on the co-pilot side as well, 249er. It should be about it. So let's see if we can request a taxi now. Okay, so there's the air marshal. Let's check. We probably still need to close this door ourselves. Okay, so we need to do a couple of things here real quick. Let's close the door and get rid of the external power unit. That's the door closing and release the external power unit as well. Okay.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pas inserted.
So obviously we still need to figure actually out which way to taxi. So which side I don't know is going to be pointing. We'll go to runway 25 left, so it looks like Charlie 1. Not sure how this works. Are we going to backtrack then or what? We'll see when we get there. Not sure what this here means, but oh. Anyway, so that should be Charlie 1 via Yankee. So yeah, we're going to be pushing back with the nose to the right, facing the east. So nose right, tail left.
Release parking brakes, please.
Okay, so what do we say? Parking brake.
Starting push. All engines clear. Start at wheel.
Okay, so we can start at will. Starting engine number 1. Monitoring the N2 percentage. Once that reaches around 20%, we can then turn on the fuel. Oh, let's start the clock. So we should remember once we're climbing or reaching cruise to check the flight plan, because there was a no can do kind of situation. Let's start up engine number 2. Looks like there's a little bit sun there. So, sort of. Let's go to TARA.
Please set parking brakes.
Okay, so we need to set the parking brake now.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Okay, so they're waiting confirmation for good engine start. Looks and sounds like a good engine start. So we can go ahead and confirm a good engine start to the air marshal there. Oh, that's the wrong button.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
So they're going to disconnect the pin there.
Unlocking gear.
So basically we go straight forward and probably
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass par MOV.
turn right onto Echo 5.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Okay. So looks like we're good to go. Let's start with setting the flaps for the takeoff position. Verify takeoff speeds. V1 123 knots. 126 V rotate and V2134. Airline Wiener Verarend. And the auto brake goes to RTO for ejected takeoff. Let's switch over for the power from the APU generators now to the engines. And turn off the APU. I'm not sure, I believe these should go to continuous. Let's just take a wild guess there. And we turn on the taxi lights and we're ready to taxi. Oh, looks like there's another aircraft. That is some seriously wet conditions there for you, man. Okay, so looks like we're clear to go. So we got some Brussels Airlines, there's a Ryanair, got EasyJet as well. Okay, so let's focus a little bit and peek outside. So looking outside in the third person is obviously a less of an immersive situation, but at the same time it is super convenient. But there are some angles that are just, I don't know, it's difficult to see sometimes. So we were going, let me quickly double check here. So go straight right onto Echo 5, which is about a 90-degree turn. Alright. Let's pick up some speed. So it looks like it should be this one to the right here. apologize. So I'm not quite sure. Looks like there's a runway ahead. So let's stop the aircraft. And turn on the parking brake. Okay, so yeah, that's correct. We're going to cross a runway and then onto Foxtrot 3. Alright, let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so these are terrible visual conditions and we have no control, so we're just going to hope for the best and just cross the runway right here. So far so good, no traffic. There is actually an aircraft coming onto the runway. Okay, so that happened. Let's slow down a little bit. I do apologize to the cabin crew. Okay, we keep on going straight. The aircraft behind us, is it actually going to follow? I don't know what's happening. Are we going uphill? Just, do we have too little power? I mean, we are a Boeing 737, we should have plenty of power. Look, there's aircraft landing. Looks like there's a left turn here. But this is not for us. On the chart it's not very clear how to get to the beginning of the runway without backtracking it. So that's going to be interesting. It does not appear there's a taxiway. It's a funky parking brake. Let's turn on the landing lights. Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff. And the position, strobe and steady. We're at the ARA, so that's there as well. The flaps are now in the 5 position. VNAV and LNAV are armed, 134, and then we're heading 249. The auto brake is to check the takeoff. I think we're pretty much good to go there. So I think what we'll do is actually, well, let's just hope there's no traffic incoming. We'll just drive onto the runway, and unless we don't need the entire runway. Let's backtrack. So parking brake release. Oh, there goes the flap again. Set timer here as well. Okay, so we're going to start our flight from the very beginning of the runway. We probably could have taken the intersection right there. We can check in more detail once we have taken off in our only cruise flight. I'm having a hard time turning the aircraft. I'm not sure, perhaps I'm doing something wrong. It's not the optimum turning speed. Or perhaps it's simply a matter of setting in the controller. I have not assigned any key for the tiller. Not sure if that would make a difference, but where we're going now is absolutely horrible. It just does not seem to want to turn for some reason. It's crazy. And I might actually also have it disabled then, probably in the menu. Alright, so let's see if we can get out of this one. Without too much bloodshed. So he just keeps wanting to go forward, man. It's really strange. Cool, so let's just pretend we're really high and these are forests. So by now a Airbus 380 is going to land on top of us. Look at that. Okay, so we're a little bit slow today. Rotating. Get back to the right, gear up. Okay, flaps all the way up. So lock the gear. Okay, looks like we're airborne. Let's start with the anti-ice. taxi lights can go off. We got the engine ice warning, but we already turned that on. So while we're climbing, let's take a short little break and have a look outside of the window and see where we are. Standard QNH. Let's go flight over 350. Quickly running to the galley. Okay, so here we are. Captain back on the flight deck. So hopefully we're still in a successful climb. From the looks of it and the sound of it, it's probably all good. Let's go to the flight deck nonetheless. (14,000 feet). You can turn off passenger seatbelt signs. Oops. And the landing lights. Let's leave on the anti-ice for a bit, since we are going through some clouds. But we're on our way from Brussels to Munich airport in Germany, where the weather probably is going to be similar to what we have seen here today in Belgium. Let's zoom out a little bit, get some more situational awareness. I apologize. 170. On our way to Bollocks. So we can have a look at the flight plan and then at the plan page. We are climbing to flight level 170 initially. Oh, that is for the flight plan, I believe. Which is good then. We're already past it, so that's interesting. Why is it not updating? I do apologize for that. At least the weather up here is getting a lot better than it was downstairs. And I think in these conditions we can turn off the anti-ice. Okay, so while we're climbing 20,000 feet, so we should start getting the annoying signal and that the pressurization system is no longer working. Usually happens around 20 or 22,000 feet. So far so good. Top of descent is in about 30 minutes. 240 nautical. I do apologize. Oh, there you go. Sorry about that. We're not sure what we're doing here. We had I believe it was a minimum flight level of 170. But if I look in the flight plan, this is like inserted here, which seems weird. So at or above 170. Okay, so what if we okay, so it's already moving to SOPOK now, so that's good. 320. We're still climbing. So unable to go 280 knots at ROKIL. So keep saying unable 280 knots at ROKIL. I'm wondering what we can do. We are now at the cruise stage, flight level 300. Is our descent going to be too steep? Is that the reason why the aircraft is anticipating going to overshoot the 280 knots speed constraint? So that's interesting. 0 speed 272, Buram speed 272, Whiskey Lima Delta speed 272, ROKIL 280. Does it mean it cannot accelerate to 280? What if we change that to 272 as well? still magenta, so not sure why. We can see if the message comes back. So that's it outside, a little bit above the clouds here. So we got a nice and bright view. So I recently discovered, so first I discovered these, but that's not super recently. Come on, don't be shy. There you go. Let's go get the other one. But apparently they're also on the edges of the windows. But maybe Microsoft Flight Simulator doesn't like it. As you can see, the Flight Simulator just crashed again on the stream. And that is a shame. So I'm going to play a little bit of guitar. I'm sorry about the Microsoft crashing on us again. Thank you very much for checking, definitely appreciate it, and I'll see you sometime soon. I'm your personal funky sim pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko, and see you next time. Bye bye.